Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So I hope you guys have an enjoyable experience in Wave of Intrigue so far. And for today's few videos, we're going to run through the Supreme class as well as the Paragon testing for the newest characters, Dunlia as well as Nara, and then giving our first impressions for the character. So for those of you guys who have been in my stream just now, we did quite a few runs with Nara as well as Dunlia, and it's safe to say, at least based on what we have right now, both of them ain't exactly that good for the AFK stage side, not that good for bossing or content pushing side. So for Dunlia's case, there are some exceptions which I'll talk about later in this video, but for Nara's case, it's really hard to use her. Okay, so a few things before I continue analyzing this character. So one thing about Nara is that I think I mentioned this before in one of the videos earlier about her, whether or not you should actually pull for her. This character is not very auto friendly because, right, this ultimate will not cast if there's no enemies HP ratio below 40%, right? And on top of that, this skill has a really short animation range. So if you have a unit in front of Nara or the enemies are maybe 2 or 3 tiles away from her, she might also not cast the ultimate if the HP ratio is below 40% to begin with. So that's another issue that I realized after using her. And on top of that, right, I also mentioned that her Phantom Chains, if you pull an enemy, right, and the enemy is control immune, right, or if your enemy is inbound, or if your enemy is a cut like Damien's cut, for example, this Phantom Chains will actually fail. And because this skill has a 4-second cooldown, she won't be able to cast a skill immediately like mentioned in this skill description right here. So what happens is that this character will actually walk up to the enemy and then make her really vulnerable. Because this character doesn't have much defensive capabilities, what she wants to do for the team is to pull the enemy in, right, try to bring the enemy low and then burst the enemy down with the ultimate. However, in the AFK stage push side, it's hard to achieve that because usually you are playing from a deficit, so you kind of want to have a little bit more control on the enemy, or right, a lot of true damage or damage with sustain that can draw out the battle. So with regards to Nara's kit for the AFK stage side, is not as good, and I'll showcase the ultimate auto battle side as well as the chain problem which I mentioned with this battle because there's a Damien there. So I'm gonna just put in all the super duper tanky unit to just keep her alive. Let me just put a Ludovic right here. Okay, and let me also put Biro, for example, right? So that's that. Yeah, so let's start with this one. I'll go at one time so you guys can see what's going on. So right here, right, she's able to pull for Hewin, and Hewin is isolated. But as you guys can see right here, because Hewin's HP is not below 40%, even though my Nara had the ultimate fully charged, she won't cast the skill automatically on Hewin, who is the target that she is focusing. Because, right, the skill states that in auto battle, this unit will not target the enemy's non-boss character whose HP ratio is above 40%. So there is some prioritization in terms of the skills usage, but in terms of deficit push side, the ultimate ain't gonna proc itself, right, once you run her in the auto battle. Okay, so now let's try to find another matchup where I can actually showcase. Oh, I think this is a good showcase for the chains one. So we have an Igor right here. So for those of you guys who might not know, Igor is actually control immune. So let's do this, right? We try to hook Igor here. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna put the Hewin. We're just gonna put as much sustain as possible to just keep her online. And then we're gonna put Rowan right here. Maybe throw in Biru, for example. Okay, I think it's fine. So let's start, right? So let's go. So we try to hook our dear Igor. Do you guys see the chain at the start of battle? So she throws the hook at Igor, but because Igor is control immune, the hook fails and goes into cooldown, and that's where she runs in the front and then she just dies. So these two problems combined together makes Nara insanely vulnerable in the AFK stage side, because there's a whole bunch of control immune targets that cannot be controlled, or just units which are not friendly to her auto capabilities in general, right? You can just ruin her ultimate by just having like 2 or 3 heals over here, which sort of cause her to not use her ultimate in auto battle, which means that you might have to manual Nara if you want to make her work in the AFK stage side, which is just not something that I recommend anyone do. So that's why Nara's not very good for the PvE side. Now, so we are going to move into the PvP side. I have a few replays with her, and then I'm going to do 1 or 2 Supreme Arena runs to show you guys her prowess. So right here, we have a battle with Nara, but in this case, right, Nara didn't actually do much for the team. So, but this showcases another problem with Nara, because right here, right, we put in the Feresto right in front of us, we put in the Lilime as well, but you can see that my Nara constantly had full energy, but she won't be using her ultimate because in this case, she's not controlled, she's not taunted, she's actually blocked by my own Feresto. So this means that positioning with Nara is also going to be a concern for you if you want to run her. And I think the best way to use Nara is to just put her in an open space so she's able to pull the enemy in, right? And then pull another target in and then spam the ultimate in close range. So this is the case where my Nara did nothing and we won. And that's because she wasn't able to cast her ultimate at all. Look at her energy bar, it was pretty much full the whole battle because she was either controlled, the enemy didn't have a HP lower than 40%, and either that or she's blocked by my own Feresto. So all these problems combined together makes Nara, I'll say, like a pretty challenging character to use. And it's safe to say Nara is definitely more of an offensive character. So I'm going to showcase her offensive prowess right here by doing some Supreme Arena runs. So I'm going to help my friend progress through. We're going to find some like higher rank players, okay, to showcase her power. So let's put Igor here. Okay, so right here what we're going to do is we're going to pull Vala in, and we're going to send Sylvina after Vala as well so that we can snipe her ASAP, and then from there we are able to showcase Nara's ability in this battle. Okay, so okay, this is another combo I want to talk about later. So we're gonna talk about the Dino and Dan com. So right here we pull Vala in. Okay, energy is charged fully. Okay, we didn't manage to use our ultimate there, but it's fine, right? So we still have our ultimate, we're still holding on to it, dealing a lot of damage to the put unit. And then, right here, I think face HP is gonna fall below 40%. Okay, so Coco's HP is below 40%, so now she slams Coco, right? Massive damage right here, and then there's a additional shockwave. So there is this cooldown on the chain, right? So this is where after we pull in Coco and the chain is on cooldown, she'll just run up to the nearest target for the normal attacks itself. So that is another caveat that you guys might want to know. The chain is not without cooldown, even though it states that it will pull the allies, or I mean it will pull the enemy adjacent to her, but then you still have to take note of this cooldown on this character skill. So yeah, if it's on cooldown and right, she is very far from the enemy, she'll run up to the enemy, causing some disruption in your positioning. Okay, so with this we're gonna 2 times the battle. So yeah, she rinse and repeat, pull the enemy, slams them, and then pull another enemy in and then slam them. So very good displacement character, very good burster, provided you can make her work, right? Provided you got the abilities to actually snipe off the targets quickly. So this is Dino and Dancom. I'll save it for another video. But that's pretty much it for the Nara side of things. Like with regards to the best PvP team for Nara, I think Nara is a character that is good enough with just another carry in the team, because Nara +1 should be enough damage to nuke down one target with the acceleration of the ultimate. So that 750 energy is actually pretty insane, because this allows her to get that first true damage ultimate off a lot faster. But at the same time, because if you take a look at Nara's ability itself, there is a gap where the skills are all on cooldown and then you won't be able to actually do much with her. So that's where I think having a second carry to do damage until Nara's skills come online, like the ultimate or the chains come online again, and then she will pull them and then slam them with the ultimate, is probably the way to go. So I'm gonna take on another bot right here, and then this time around I'm gonna use a more different comp compared to this one. So we use Sylvina together with Nara. I think another way to run Nara is to do control. So taking a look at what we have right here. Okay, I tell you what, there is another mechanic that I kind of want to try, and that is whether or not Reina swap will affect Nara's reposition. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to use Ludovic right here. We're still going to use the same comp because this comp is extremely good against like Barra and Vala in general. But what we're going to do is see what's the interaction between Reina swap as well as Nara's hook itself. Okay, so this is this. Okay, later on I'll just skip the next two battle because the focus is on Nara. And if we let me just go at one time. Okay, so we didn't actually reposition Nara. Okay, so this is interesting. This means that you can do some Reina, Nara, hook and buff shenanigans. Right, you saw that, right? Our Nara right here has the purple ring, so she actually got the buff, and she didn't actually go over to the enemy side. Okay, that's interesting. So a little bit like Ludovic in a sense, like at the start of battle, she's like this inbound state where she can't be swapped or she can't be affected for a little moment. Okay, interesting. Okay, so that's for the testing itself. This time around, what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch out a little bit and get like another factional talent buff for Nara, right, to see how it works for her. So we have the wildest one, we also have the Mauler one upgraded. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the Mauler one. So there is another interaction that I want to show you guys. So this interaction is another interaction that hurts Nara a lot, but I figured you guys probably need to know about it in case you guys want to pull for her. So let's just go. We're gonna put all the good wildest character here. Okay, then we have this one. Oh wait, we're gonna put this. Okay, so we're gonna put this. We're gonna give the open slot and we're gonna give the wildest buff to Nara. I think this is still okay for a Dunlia. Yeah, Dunlia Dino. Okay, and then right here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. Okay. And then we're gonna do this one and put Coco right in front and then put Smokey right here. Okay, so that's that. Now let's focus on the Nara battle right here. So the target of choice was actually Coco. So the interaction that I kind of want to show at the start was sometimes when you actually reposition the enemy with Iron at the start of battle, Nara will actually lose the target with the chain ability, but for this one, fortunately, my Nara managed to pull the enemy over, so that's pretty good. But I think that is one thing that you guys might want to consider in terms of the PvP offense side, because if you do want to use Nara with the wilders like I showcase here, then this is one concern for you guys. Or if you want to use Nara with other repositioning characters, like for example just now Reina, right, as well as potentially future repositioning characters, then right, you have to take note of all these mini caveats that could happen with her kit itself. Okay, so that's pretty much it for my first impression for Nara. In general, PvP centric character, not very friendly for the beginners. There has a lot of hidden caveat to her kit, but still a lot of exploration to see how she can maximize her potential. So stay tuned for more of her videos in the next few days if I do find something interesting. And thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more. See you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!